Okay, now we're just going to briefly touch on charts and understanding, like just basically how to read them. We might touch on technical analysis, but I don't want to go too deep into that. Right, so, okay, where to start? So effectively, what these are these called candlesticks. So if you go, let's take you from the start. So if you're on Yahoo Finance and you just search for any stock, okay, so obviously the one we looked for before was Apple. If you just go to full screen, and then usually it will start off as a line here. And then what you can do is you can just click on this line here, this button here, and you can change it to candles. And then here you can choose the period that you want each candle to represent, right? So let's discuss what an actual candle is. So effectively what this is showing, so let's take a good one to look at. Let's look at these two here. Okay, so the first immediate thing to notice is that this, whether it's green or red, determines whether the price of this asset increased or decreased in this given time period. So at the moment we're looking at 5 minute periods. So in this 5 minute period, because it's red, the price went down. In this 5 minute period, because it's green, the price went up. Okay. So now let's look at a second point. Okay. The bottom of the candle is where it either started or finished, depending on whether it's green or red. Because this is red, so the price went down, this is where it finished in this 5 minute period. And the top of it here is where it started in this 5 minute period. So this price went from up here to down here in this 5 minute period, within 5 minutes. So this was minute 0, this was minute 5. If you look closely as well, you can see these thin lines that come out of the bulk of the bar. This is how far it went within that 5 minute period, either way out of the starting price and the finishing price. So you can see in this one that it actually, some point, that could have been 1 minute, that could have been 3 minutes, it could have been 4 minutes, it jumped really, really high, okay, and then shot back down, okay, finished up low, and the little bit you can see at the bottom there is the lowest it got to. We move on to the green bar and it's vice versa. So because it's green, that means it started at the bottom, go down of here, and it finished at the top here within the 5 minute period. Again, the thin bits outside the block candle show the highest and the lowest it got to. Okay, so let's show that in a here. So this is a candle. Okay, if this is green, then that means that this is the start of period, and this is end of period. This is the highest price within the period, and this is the lowest price within period. Okay, so that's pretty self-explanatory. So this 5 minute candle, you came in at here at 0 minutes and it finished here at 5 minutes. Okay, this was the highest point it got to. That could have been any time within the 5 minute period. This is the lowest point it got to. Again, could have been any time within the 5 minute period, right? Now let's say, for example, if this was actually a red candle, what would change? What would change if this was a red candle? So the highest price within the period, that stays, and keep that. The lowest price within the period, that stays. But let's look at these two, end and start period. Well, we know this can't be right because if it's a red candle, the price has to have decreased within that period. So actually, all we need to do is we need to swap these two. This is the start, and this is the end. Red candle goes down, green candle, price went up. If we go back to the chart, you can play around this as much as you want. You can go lines, you can go bars. Bars, similar sort of concept. It came in here, it left here. It came in here, left here. It's similar to candles. Stick to candles for now, don't confuse yourself. Lines, obviously, way better for looking over the longer term because you don't really care about the individual candles if you're a long-term investor. Whereas if you're a day trader, you probably want to see the candles and you probably want to look at a variety of different options. So you might have 4 different screens up, one with the 4-minute candles, the 30-minute, the hour. Again, I'm not going to go too deep into technical trading, but that's graphing and candles in a nutshell.